This episode of Trying to Figure It Out is brought to you by Hacienda Village Meat and Italian Deli. They have the most amazing, authentic Italian meats, sandwiches, and the most amazing owners. They're located in Hacienda Heights, California. If you're in the Southern California area, be sure to go check them out and go get your meats from them. Hello. Welcome back to Trying to Figure It Out. Charli Burnett is here today. You may know her from Vanderpump Rules. I'm so happy to have you here. It's been a long time in the making. We have been trying to make this happen for a minute, but welcome to Trying to Figure It Out. I'm so happy to finally have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
You were telling me before you got here that you haven't done something like this in almost a year.
I've been like in a little turtle shell the last year.
I feel that. Why do you feel like you've been in a turtle shell for the last year?
I think that there's quite a few things. I decided to not do the show, which I feel like was a big, a big choice and a big decision that I made. And at the time, there was so many things going on. And summer hit, and it was like, what am I doing? I've been doing the same thing for the last 4 years. Yeah. And it kind of came to a halt. I really just needed to take the year to self-reflect, see what's going on, disconnect to reconnect, and kind of readjust my whole sense of being. And I think now I'm ready to get back out there. I don't know. We'll see. As long as I just do day by day and get the list done. Rome wasn't built in a night. So we just have to figure it out. We're on the podcast trying to figure it out. I feel like that's been my last couple of months where I'm like, I'm just going to figure it out.
Yep.
Not going to think that hard about it.
100%.
If I think too hard, I'll go back to my turtle shell.
No, literally.
Not ready.
Okay, well, I was awkwardly stalking you before you came here on your Instagram, and I saw that you recently turned 30. What is a lesson you learned in your 20s and something you are taking with you into your 30s?
I think turning 30 for a lot of people is like a big pivotal moment, especially I think in women. We put a lot of emphasis on 30. And I was really fearful of it, obviously. It was, I cried on the night I turned 30. And I was in Mexico City in the Uber crying my eyes out like, I don't want to be 30. But then I had the self-realization that I think my biggest takeaway from the past 10 years was that I did a great job. And I did the best I could in a lot of areas. And I may not be where I want to be, because, you have these plans, right? And you're like, I'm going to be this at this age. And I really thought from the last 5 years before COVID, my life would be really different at this time in my stage of 30. And it isn't. And it isn't what I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. And I think that's something I had to tell myself was that it's not so much about you and what you think. It's or what you plan the perfectionism for your life to play out. It's not going to be like that. So I took from my 20s to being 30 was I was going to live very intentionally this next 10 years, hopefully the next rest of my life.
Yes.
Be more intentional, be more aware. And I think in my 20s, I was so focused on other things that maybe didn't fully fulfill me. And now all I want is just like fulfillment, happiness, and good intentions. I feel like also there's so many cool like women I admire, and they're all women that have accomplished and done things throughout their entire life,
So you said that you thought you were going to be somewhere when you turned 30. What was the image that you had of where you would be, and where do you feel like you are now?
I thought I was going to be Beyonce. No, I'm just kidding. I thought I was going to be Cowboy Carter headlining all around America. No, I wish. I can't sing for shit. How do I say this? Right before COVID, I think I was in one of the best spots in my life. I was booking tons of commercial jobs. I was doing great in my commercial work. I loved it. I loved doing commercials. One of my favorite careers I've had, or like paths I had. I just started getting into short film. So I was just getting into like theatrical, kind of like testing that water, but I was doing pretty decent in my acting career. I live by the beach in Venice. Like my life is amazing. Like doing great. And my fiance at the time was living in San Diego. So I was in my mind, I was like, okay, we're going to have like our LA condo for my work and my entertainment and like for all my cool lifestyle. And then we'll have our house in San Diego and that will be our life and it's going to be perfect. And that's exactly how it's going to go. And it can still go like that, But now I'm in LA and with my fiance, and I love my spot, and I still work in nightlife, and I took a break from all commercials, any entertainment, haven't done a lick of anything, haven't done a print job. I just took a step back, like I said, from everything to reassess if that's still what I wanted to do in the next chapter in my life.
And is it?
It's
okay if you still haven't figured it out.
I might not have figured it out, but I will just put it out there that I am ready, in a sense, to get back on camera. I don't know where that's at. I'm just letting the universe push me where I need to go right now. And I'm just going to take the steps day by day.
I love that. Cheers to that, honestly.
And figure it out.
No, literally. That's the best place to be, though. And it sounds like you're open to it and ready to go with wherever the wind takes you. And I feel like that's like when opportunities come to you, when you're ready for them. You talked a little bit about your time on reality TV, and I want to kind of dive into that a little bit more if you're okay with it.
Yeah, of course.
So you joined the cast of Vanderpump Rules for season 8. How did you wind up getting cast on the show?
I think this also gives people a better understanding of my position on the cast.
Yeah.
So I was casted. I never worked at SUR. I wasn't a server at SUR. I wasn't at SUR. The casting was brought to me and my agency at the time as a show about young actors in LA. And we were going to follow them around for, X amount of time of their journey in life. And I was like, oh, why not? Let me see, what these people have to say. And then I got a call back, and then it turned into, this is Vanderpump Rules, and Lisa wants to meet you. So I had no idea of what Vanderpump Rules really was, or like really grasp what I was getting myself into. So I went to the casting like, la, 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 like, I'm gonna meet Lisa. Like, this will be fun. I'll go get a drink in WeHo after. Like, not taking it serious at all. And then they called me and they said, Lisa and us, Bravo Evolution, want you to be a part of the show. Would you like to be a part of it? And I was iffy, and I was like, you know what? Let me just show up to the first day.
Yeah.
And see what happens. It was just all bad timing and weird casting timing. Like, I came in at a weird time in the group, and I was the youngest, which I feel like that didn't help me any. So, getting casted and thrown in and not watching.
Like, not having the backstory. I can't. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I just found that out.
That's my biggest regret, Allie. Now I have all these streaming platforms. I watch a shit ton of reality TV. I've probably watched the most reality TV in the last year. Like, people probably have consumed in the last 10.
Oh, for sure.
So now I'm like, oh, I get it. I know what's going down. I haven't watched Vanderpump Rules, but I watched a lot of other Bravo shows, starting from like season 1 on, and I understand and I get it now. And I would have gone in completely different. Yeah. But that group was so established.
They really were.
They also knew some of the new people. I was a complete like blind mice. Like, I didn't know anybody. No one knew me. No one had an idea. It was completely like a random person thrown in the middle. And I understand.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And
it's actually kind of fucked up. I'm just going to be honest, because I didn't know that. And I feel like everyone who gets introduced to the show usually has like one latch, like one person on a reality show, like you become a friend of.
So that's where I feel like I was a little lost in a lot of things I was doing. Also, I had nobody in my corner. Yeah, it was a lot. And it was in some ways disappointing to me because I was just so naive. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. Yeah. We're going to just be in LA and we're going to have fun and go party and do like, maybe someone will yell at each other. But it was, very intense. But I did learn a lot.
There's a lot to be proud of there.
Oh, thank you. I made the abrupt decision to not do the show. Like, I was getting on my way ready to film, all I had to do was sign the contract on the way there. And I backed out for some reason. And I think that I needed to. Yeah. That situation really did trigger me in a lot of ways. And it really turned me off from people in a lot of ways that I needed to take that step back from everyone and everything. And I, as much as I could too, I would try to like block out all the filters.
100%.
I muted everyone from like the shows and everything for a year. Smart. So I was like, I cannot see this. I cannot watch this. I don't want to be a part of it. And not in a negative way, because I feel like I had to in order to properly break up with that person, I guess, or that space I was in.
Right. You couldn't wholeheartedly heal yourself and like take care of yourself if you had the outside
It's like
noise.
an ex-boyfriend,
100%.
you know, it's like and you're like, oh, I should have gone back. Should I go back? Like, oh, they're like, you know, this is so much better. Look at, like, you know, like you just have all these thoughts, and I already made the decision, so I had to be okay with it. And in that group too, or in that kind of world, it's like, once you're kind of out of it, you can't really sit at the table anymore, which is fine. I'm okay. I don't need to be at that table. But, you know, it is a little, when you've been with so many people the last 4 years, or like, you're not even just cast members. We're talking about like production, camera. Like there's people you've made really producers, like relationships with, and then to go radio silence. Totally. That's a really hard thing to do and to kind of swallow. And I had to sit in that by myself. And I had no one because I had no one on the show to begin with. So, and I think I probably would have maybe stayed or like done it another year more if I had someone in my corner. But I think the closest person to me on the show needed to have her own corner at the time.
Was that Sheena?
No, Ariana.
Oh, yeah, she did.
We just couldn't, like, you know, she was someone I really... And it's weird that they didn't show our relationship, because she's coming to my wedding. She's like one of the only people I still have a real relationship with. That wasn't fake. That wasn't for the show. Like we actually.
Totally.
And she was in no place to be there for me. Which is
not in that time.
Not at that time at all. And
she might not have even known that at the time.
No, you know, like
no.
a lot going on, you know. That wasn't time for me to be like, what about me?
No, I get it.
You know?
And it's nice to hear that, like, she was the one that was always in your corner, aside from during that time.
Yeah.
Because that was always what she read as to me.
She's like, great.
She was always genuine. She was always herself. She didn't really give a fuck about what people thought. She was always, in my opinion, like, very real, like, had a great plot line, but like stayed true to her morals, and I respected that a lot. So
me too.
It's nice to hear that.
I'll say this because I don't want anyone getting mad. I'm still very, very grateful, and
of course
100% grateful for my opportunity. And like I thank Lisa and Evolution and Bravo for every opportunity, because at the end of the day, they still didn't have to give that to me. And I'm not totally closing the door, like I said, on reality TV world, but now I know.
Yeah.
And now I'm a little bit wide. And now I get it now.
Yes.
Like, it's so funny. I watch Housewives. I'm like, oh, I get this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in it. And I was like, I wish I knew this information before, because I would have been so much better. And there's so many behind scene things too, like that, that I even, like I said, just wish I knew and knew the logistics of stuff, and just had more information. And when people usually have someone that they know on the cast, they usually get a little bit of a rundown. They get a little bit of, hey, this is how this will go. I had nothing. I went into everything, like I said, completely no idea what I was.
So crazy.
I didn't even know you needed to create drama. Like, I didn't know that I needed like to pick fights. Everything was very organic. I would also I remember my first season, they'd be like, oh, say this. I'd be like, okay. I would say it because I didn't know. I was like, oh, this isn't going to make it. No one cares about me, because I just didn't think, you know, it was just confusing. And I, like I said, I think if things didn't happen and COVID didn't happen, I think maybe I would have made more of an establishment. I would have got to know everyone more. I probably would have maybe worked at SUR more. Yeah, what are you going to do? But like I said, I'm not closing the door, and I'm very grateful. And you know, who knows? What if Real Housewives San Diego or LA? Or no, there's Beverly Hills, sorry. Who knows?
Were you with your fiance that you're with now while you filmed the show?
So, okay, let's give the breakdown. When I agreed to do the show and filmed, I was on a year break from my fiance.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we took a year break from each other.
Okay.
So I was doing really good in my commercial work. He just moved to San Diego and took a job. And I was like, well, I'm not going to leave in the peak of my existence right now in LA. Like I said, I had a great job. I was making great money. I loved my place.
Not the time.
Not the time. And he was like, I'm going to stay in San Diego. I don't think I'm going to leave. I said, okay, cool. Maybe we'll see each other later. And then I did the show. And I also thought dating on the show would have been fun. And there was like nobody.
There wasn't.
Not
at that time.
No, the show made me go back to my fiance after I was done filming the season and like out partying and like, you know, doing all the things.
Mm-hmm.
I called him and was like, okay, maybe we weren't that bad. Maybe we can figure it out. These people are fucking crazy.
Like, I'm having a wake up call.
Yeah. And like, everyone is not that cute. Like, I don't like anyone out here. You're the best.
Wait, just a quick question, because I'm curious. When you were working at SUR while on Vanderpump Rules, were you getting paid to be a waitress at SUR while getting paid to be on the show? Or were you just like employed to work there kind of for free because you were on the show?
I would literally come in, do a fake shift.
Oh, it was a fake shift. Though.
Yeah,
like you weren't actually serving people.
No. I got to I think that point they stopped doing that.
Okay.
Because it was just too chaotic.
Yeah,
so everything was planned. Yeah. So I would come in at like before the rush, essentially, or like before people came, and we would film 3 to 5, and I would take fake orders or and then I would leave.
That's so crazy.
But other people worked there. I didn't. So like I said, I was still working in nightlife. So I would just like go do a few hours, and then I would go to and nightlife. You don't start till 10 or 11 o'clock. So it really worked well with the reality schedule because I was able to still film, still go out and party, and then I'd be like, okay, see you guys, bye. And then I would dissociate. Then I would forget, you know, because I don't even think I had like my first season, I don't even know whose like phone numbers I had. Like I didn't like talk to anyone after.
That's so
I would just be like, okay. That's and obviously as time went on, I started developing more relationships and becoming more friends. But I feel like I never fully broke, maybe with some people, but even on the show, I just feel like I never fully broke into an opportunity to fully be myself, you know? Something
people talk about when they watch, you know, from your era of the show is
a little small era.
The fact that you don't eat pasta. People,
oh my God.
I know, but I'm not. I literally
eat it now, everyone. I eat the pasta, okay? I actually love the corn pasta from, oh my God, of course I'm forgetting it right now.
Is it
the place in Beverly Hills? It's so
Good. No.
Dante.
Oh, at the hotel.
Yes.
I've heard that place is fire. I've never been.
So good.
Okay.
And their corn pasta
fire
changed my life.
Okay.
And I apologize to all the pasta eaters out there. I didn't mean what I said. Okay. I did not mean what I said. I can't take it back. It haunts me forever. I should make a shirt that says pasta girl. Like
I eat pasta.
Yeah,
now.
I eat pasta now.
No, but it just feels like it was clear that there was more to it. And you were making that clear, and it kind of just fell off and became another pasta joke of Vanderpump Rules that I don't really understand. So I'm curious, like, if you could share with me a bit more about what that sensitivity was and how you feel like you were given a space or not given a space to share that.
Oof. Okay. I have a very, very complicated, not tragic, but a little bit intense past. A lot of things have happened to me in life that aren't normal or people shouldn't have gone through at a young age. So I think when it was brought to production and they knew about it and they knew about my story in a lot of ways, I was kind of told that it was too heavy, that my story was too heavy for an audience. With the food thing, I had to have a conversation with a producer, and I kind of asked him to try to take some things out, and we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to ask for that. And I know I shouldn't have been, but I was protecting people and I was protecting my family. People are not afraid to just put everything out there. And like when you're in the limelight, you're supposed to do that. Yeah. But I just have a hard time sharing things. And as much as bad things have happened to me in my life, I don't think it's fair to publicly put that everywhere, even though that these people hurt me or people have done things to me. I still don't think it's right to put on blast. So I think that the storylines were coming off all over because it kind of had to be, because we couldn't deep dive into it.
Right.
And it was too much to deep dive into it. And it was just kind of too dark in a lot of ways. Like if I'm being completely honest, a lot of my stories are dark, and I don't think people want to watch that on TV. And maybe one day I can tell my story in another way, light, or an environment that's more, appropriate. And I eat food now, guys, but also I will say I am so proud of myself. I've been able to really conquer my food fear.
Yeah.
And my food fear came from a space that was really sad and dark, and it wasn't something that I put upon myself. But I also, like I said, don't think it's fair to tell certain people or tell certain stories on people's behalfs.
Totally.
So
I have a lot of respect for that.
Thank you.
It's not easy to do. And
girl, if I told you my whole life, we'd be here for like 4 more hours.
You faced the brunt of it for sure, which is unfortunate. And I just wanted to bring that up and kind of hear your perspective on how you felt.
You want to know what the crazy part is? I don't even remember saying that. I think I said
I don't even remember what you said.
It's actually the fucked up part. They were pushing on me to try food because you were when you're a new server,
right? You
have to try all the food at the restaurant. Yeah. They knew my story. They knew why I didn't eat food. They knew why I was timid around things, trying new things around people, and it was pushed on me on camera. So I just said something quick and funny to like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, oh, pasta makes you fat. Which, like, if you know me, like, girly is a Domino's pizza app lover. Like, I love all fast. Like, I just like, that's just not me as a person. Like, that's just, that's not how I feel. I don't judge. I don't care. Like, that's just not aligned with who I am. So seeing so many people affected and hurt, and that's something I took from my 20s was you can say something quick, but you need to be intentional what you say, because
it can change.
It can change, and it also can hurt people. And you might not have been like malicious about it, but I think I hurt a lot of young girls with what I said. And I have young nieces, and I don't want them to hyper judge themselves or judge the food they eat. That's not my intention at all.
Right.
So, and that doesn't sound good from a girl in LA on a reality show being like, oh my God, like that's just doesn't align with who I am. And I just, like I said, want to apologize to anyone I hurt. And and the pasta community, because that's big.
There's a pasta community.
It's serious, and I learned that real quick. But now I'm a part of you.
Yes.
I'm part of you guys.
We welcome you.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to like make my own homemade pasta one day. Like
that would be
do a video to
TikTok.
My sounds. Actually, that's a great idea.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. You mentioned that one day or someplace when you're in the right place at the right time, you will share your story. And I'm wondering and want to give you the space if you want to share your story.
Honestly, I don't think we have enough time because like I said, it's crazy. But I think to give people a little bit of a background, I came from a single mom in an area that, there was not a lot going on, not a lot happening. Yeah. And that's why I feel like I look at my life a little different than others, because there's been so many situations where life has almost been taken from me, and situations that people could probably never think about, happening to them, or I don't want anything to ever happen to anyone.
Yeah.
But I always hyper criticize myself because I went through so much that it was like a fight mode. Like I had to get out. I had to make sure I was successful. I had to make sure these things happened to me, because if I don't, this life is going to be here. I'm not going to be able to protect myself from these bad things that happened to me in the past. So looking at myself now and this little girl who went through all these things in life, I think the story I'm telling myself now is that she no longer has to fight anymore. And I think that's what I'm trying to tell myself now, is that fight mode is over, and you're safe, and life is safe, and you can take care of yourself, and you've been doing it. And it was hard. And I think too, now getting married and my niece just being born, a lot of childhood things come up and life comes up, and it never really goes away, and I'm still dealing with it. And I think that at one point when I'm fully okay, I'll be able to fully talk about everything.
100%. I mean, I appreciate how much you've
already shared. Getting better.
No, you're doing amazing. And I think
I'm not crying, so that's a first start.
You're really doing amazing. And I appreciate you being so vulnerable with me.
I've just been gentle with myself and like sitting in it and being okay. And like I said, not pressuring myself to do certain things.
Yeah.
I do have a really good therapist.
That is amazing.
Yeah, on a weekly basis.
We love a good therapist.
And honestly, my routine saves my life.
Interesting. I feel
my routine is like, it keeps me accountable and on track. And when I have those feelings, my routine, you know, it gives me that strength to be like, I can do this still.
For sure.
My discipline's there. And I really want to be strong.
Yeah.
And I think strength does come from facing things head on. And it could take, you know, a few months, could take a year.
Or 10.
Yeah. There's no time limit, but
we can still be working on things as we go.
And it never goes away.
No, it doesn't.
It just, you know, so it's just learning how to live and deal with it. And, you know.
100%. Thank you so much. I just want to like take a second and say thank you, because I know that this is a lot, and I just really appreciate how much you've shared, and I just appreciate you giving us this space for you to share it. It really
thank you for giving
means a lot to me. To kind of close off this chapter and just once and for all, we're moving forward, onwards and upwards, bigger and better things.
All the good stuff.
All the good things. Who are you still, if anyone, close with from the show now? And is there anybody that you like would like to get back in contact with?
Like I said, took a very big break from everyone. I will see people out at events or things. I mean, LA is small.
Yeah.
Everyone ends up going to, you see everyone at some point, you know? So I haven't really honestly talked to anyone personally. I don't think there's really been a need to, besides like Ariana. Ariana is the only one I really keep or contact with or like text here and there. My fiance talks to like Max and Tom Schwartz. Like they'll go out to drinks together and stuff. I don't know why. But Max is from San Diego, so is my fiance.
Got it.
So they always, and they had like a bunch of mutuals, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like that's pretty much just Ariana.
I want to talk about something exciting, which is the fact that you're getting married.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Tell me a little bit about everything you're up to right now, all things wedding. When is the wedding?
So the wedding's in November of this year, which is crazy to think.
That's so exciting.
I got engaged November 23rd of 23.
Oh, wow. So you've been engaged for a minute.
Yeah, because I didn't know it was happening. One.
You were completely caught off guard.
Completely caught off guard. I had like one indication, and I called my sister and I was like, hey, am I getting engaged soon? Like, you need to tell me because I need to be ready. I need to do this. Like, homegirl's not been going to the gym. I want to buy a new dress. Like, I want to do all, like, you know, I want to be perfect. And she was like, you are so self-absorbed. Like, I can't believe you would ever think that, because she was trying to
like steer
me completely off. And it was honestly really magical. Like, we got engaged in Sayulita, which is such an amazing city and community in Mexico. And then we had like 4 days at the house. His family and my family decorated the whole thing with photos of us and set up a whole like flowers with an engagement dinner and a chef. And it was like so more than what I ever thought. Like, I was one of those girls that was like, I want to walk on the flowers on the beach. And I want to know that I'm getting proposed to and have full glam. Like, I was sweating. Like, it was so hot.
You had no idea.
I had no idea. I was like sweaty, hot. Like, the video we got is shot by his mom on her iPhone.
On her phone.
Yeah. And like, it's just, I'm like, like a part of me before, like the perfectionism in me, because I am a little bit like,
yeah, like a little anal about it. I get it.
I'm a little like, it has to be this way. If it's not this way,
which is valid.
I'm just like that. And I was like, we didn't have like a videographer team, and like we don't have a drone shot. Like, you know, I was like, we don't have all this. And then I realized, looking back on the whole weekend, that it was him and like what he wanted to do for me. And like, he really thought it was important that on his 30th birthday that he brought two families together and travel. And like, my brother-in-law had never even left America at that time and got his first international trip with my sister. Like,
that's
all
really
these
special.
really special things. And it was just like really beautiful.
That's amazing. I literally always say, like, I want to be so surprised. I really feel like that's gotten lost. It just feels like mood boards have been taken to another level, where I'm like, are you really enjoying that experience? Or is it as magical as it's supposed to be? Or is it just like cut and paste?
People have their shit like planned out. They know what they want. They have exact eye. And kind of how about my engagement, where I was like, oh, I want like the flowers on the, like, so many people just do the cut the copy and paste, and like no disrespect to anyone. I love everyone's engagement.
Me too.
But a lot of things I feel like wedding translation have gotten lost. Yeah. And it's so much about Instagram rather about like your story or your like intention or like what it means to you. And I feel like it's more about the shot now. Yeah. Like, you know, more about how it looks on Instagram or like who's going to pick it up. And like people lost the story and intention with a lot of things. Yeah. And that it really doesn't matter. You know, love has gotten lost a little bit in translation too.
I agree.
My fiance and I are basically taking care of the entire wedding ourselves. Yeah. So my budget is not Jeff Bezos. Like I wish it was. If it was, I would have the sickest wedding in the world. But I feel like when you look at all those boards or you look at all these things, you're like, oh, I want this, I want that. And then you end up getting disappointed, or I did, because people were crazy with the quotes. Yeah. And I originally really wanted my wedding in Palm Springs. We did the whole thing. We did the walkthroughs. We were set on it. And then all this stuff started trickling down after. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. Absolutely not. So expensive. And it'd be different. Like, you know, usually the father or the bride pays for all of that. I don't have that position. There ain't no father coming to this wedding. There's no father or the bride here. So it's, you know, a little like non-traditional all those ways. And we had to take a step back and say, you know, it sucks because a lot of people probably aren't going to be able to come to our destination wedding, but we're like in a little bit of pickle. It's either
this is how you can do what you want.
Yeah. Or we would just do it really small here with just family. And then maybe like, I was like, go to the club or do something after.
But just sick, by the way.
It's also like you, in a sense too, like you're owed to that Cinderella story. You know, I never really thought about weddings this hard or thought about the whole existence of them prior. Like I never knew what kind of dress I wanted, what I wanted to look like. And now, like, yeah, it's a lot, but in the sense, it is like the only one day in your entire life that you can be completely yourself and completely selfish and take it, because you only get it once and it's never coming back. Yeah. And I'm trying to soak that in and soak in being a fiance too, because fiancés sound so much hotter to me than wife. That's why I was like, dude, I'll wait like 5 more years. Like,
yeah, you're like, I'm gonna live like my fiance moment.
It's like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. No, I'm
That's amazing. Okay. I am so grateful for you, and just having you on this episode has been so special to me.
Thank you. Thank you really for having me.
Of course. This is your year. I really feel it for you. So much is going to happen. And to think that like the way you're ending this year is getting married, it's like only good things are coming.
Only up from here, right?
Only up from here. To everyone listening, thank you so much. Yeah. We will see you next week with another exciting episode of Trying to Figure It Out. Love you guys.
Bye. Thank you.